Between rules and beliefs, how stadium mysticism shapes African football. When questions arise about why Morocco was sanctioned despite Senegal being responsible for the chaos that marked the Africa Cup of Nations final, indignation quickly turns into astonishment. This sense of injustice deepens upon discovering that the disciplinary committee that issued the sanctions was chaired by a Senegalese official and composed of members from Kenya, Egypt, Mali, and South Africa. At that point, what many describe as an uncomfortable convergence emerges, where red mercury myths, voodoo rituals, juju practices, and other forms of occult belief seem to symbolically meet within the corridors of African football governance. These beliefs, viewed by some as pagan or occult, are deeply rooted in collective consciousness. They persist to the extent that professional players competing in Europe or other parts of the world continue to perform rituals before matches. Sprinkling ground powders, burying objects near goalposts, passing strange items, sometimes large or symbolic, around the goal, walking backwards onto the pitch, conducting rituals along the touchline, or whispering incantations over the ball itself. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, often struggles to impose strict sanctions on such practices, as they are commonly classified as cultural beliefs or individual behaviors whose technical impact on match results is difficult to prove from a legal or regulatory standpoint. In most cases, referees limit their intervention to ordering the removal of suspicious objects, such as towels, talismans, or buried items, from the goal area, mainly to avoid provoking the opposing team and to prevent potential clashes on the field. This tolerance, or institutional inability to enforce change, has allowed stadium magic to become part of African football folklore, where psychological warfare between players can at times outweigh tactical preparation and performance on the pitch. The issue, therefore, goes far beyond the application of rules. It reflects a deeply entrenched culture shared by officials, players, and supporters alike. In sports sociology, it is often argued that regulations cannot effectively combat beliefs that their followers perceive as forms of protection rather than acts of cheating. As long as decision-makers within CAF's executive and disciplinary bodies come from environments where such practices are normalized or even respected, they are likely to treat them with ambiguity. Either out of fear of symbolic retaliation or so-called curses, or by dismissing them as harmless folklore unworthy of monitoring or punishment, simply because they are considered an integral part of cultural identity.
Voodoo. No, because we carry the muti, so what are you talking about?
You would put it in the towel?
Yes.
What was it supposed to be?
When I was in Swallows, the muti was in the towel. Cancer chief had muti in the towel.